think I got this movie mostly figured out, but I want to talk about something first. I watched the trailer for this movie. I almost said movie, like a few years ago, and I completely forgot about this movie until a few months ago. I just randomly remembered it. That was that. I just figured it's going to be another one of those horror movies that I saw a trailer of, but I didn't know anything about it. Didn't know any of the cast, and it was too vague to remember, just remembering some of the scenes. So it was probably going to be something I never saw. And then I scrolled through the horror section on Amazon Prime and found it. Now, plot of this movie is this couple wants a house. They refuse like a bunch of houses. They eventually go to this place called Yonder that's has a forever home, which is literally. They go there, the owner shows them some of the stuff, and then just fucking dips when they go outside. They eat the food and they realize it has no taste. They don't say anything about the drinks, however. I'm assuming they don't have a taste either, but they never say anything about the drinks, which is weird. Like, you'd think, like, they would eat maybe, one of the strawberries and get a drink, which they do, but they just don't have any dialogue about it. Like, they bite a strawberry, they drink a drink, and they're like, oh, the strawberry doesn't have a taste. And then they drink the alcohol, and they're like, oh, this doesn't have a taste either. They just never say anything, so I'm assuming it also doesn't have a taste. I don't know why they would give them drinks that taste but food that doesn't. So it's kind of, one of those things that they put in there for two reasons, obviously. One of them is so people watching the movie can be like, well, I'd really like this place. You get food all the time. This food doesn't have any taste. So it's not exactly, the greatest. Like, unlimited food? Hell yeah. But it has no taste? Hell no. And the other one is obviously because it would keep them there, making them go even more crazy. Eventually, a baby shows up, and they say, take care of the baby, and you'll be set free. I don't get an exact timeline, but the baby goes from being a baby to a little kid that is in the majority of the movie. And we get a thing that says day 98 when they measure him because he asked them to. But later we also see him like hidden under the house. So I'm guessing they just placed the baby eventually because they wouldn't have been able to watch them or anything. That's like the only reason it wasn't there. Only one scene. And then it was gone. The kid screams, mocks them, is able to imitate their voice perfectly. He's just, one of the most annoying little shits. And eventually he becomes a grown-up that doesn't get too much screen time. I think they realized that it wouldn't have been as creepy or weird or annoying when a grown man is doing it. You'd understand if you've watched this movie. Throughout the movie, they also dig a hole, which ends up being their graves. The mom only digs a hole, like, she's not really a mom. But she only helps him dig in the beginning, and that's for one scene. The rest of the movie is just him digging and digging and digging. And it ends up being his own grave. After that, she's just, her boyfriend's dead. So she doesn't care anymore. She tries to kill him. and he just lifts up the ground and goes underneath the house. And there's all this kind of trippy shit. And then eventually, she's right back where she started, and she lets out this agonizing scream. Amingo Poots is honestly a really good actor, because I'm pretty sure that's her name since it's on the cover. Yeah, she did an amazing job. She's in Need for Speed. I need to watch that still. She was in 28 Weeks Later. She was Tammy. Yeah, she's a really good actor. She's in good movies. Makes sense. But she lets out this agonizing scream and she just falls to the ground. And her final words are probably one of my favorite lines in this movie. When he tells her silly mother and he's about to close her up in a body bag. And she mumbles, "I'm not your fucking mother." And then he unzips it and he's like, "What?" And she repeats it again. Then we get the grown up taking their car, refueling it, and he goes back to the Yonder place where we see the dude that introduced him to this house, Martin, getting kind of old and he dies. And his last act is giving the boy his Martin pin. And the movie ends with another couple walking in and him with the new Martin tag. I honestly really like this movie. It's not the best, but I really enjoyed it.